Hello, everyone. Let's chat about the Nose Tree Grammar Curriculum from IEW. This is a unique and fun way to teach your kids grammar in less than 15 minutes, just 4 days a week. Now, before I jump in, let me back up a little bit and tell you about IEW and their whole Fix It Grammar series. And then I'm going to dive into a full review of Fix It Grammar Level 1, which is called the Nose Tree. And I'm going to give you a look inside the curriculum so you can see kind of what level of grammar instruction it starts off with and where it ends. And hopefully this will give you a better idea of when to start this curriculum with your child, or even if it would be a good fit for your family at all. Now, IEW stands for the Institute for Excellence in Writing, and they sell a lot of different language arts curriculum. They have parent-led and video-based options for writing instruction. They also have curriculum for grammar, which we're going to be looking at in this video. They also have curriculum for younger kids, like their phonics curriculum, and they have curriculum all the way up to the high school level, not only for writing and grammar, but also for things like public speaking. So you're going to want to check out their website for all their language arts options that they have for homeschool families. I'm going to leave a link to their website and to the Fix It Grammar curriculum down in the description of this video if you want to check it out. Now, Fix It Grammar is a unique grammar curriculum, and it kind of steers clear of, those more traditional methods of teaching grammar that we're probably familiar with and we probably dreaded. Instead of that traditional method, your child is going to analyze sentences in a story. They're going to search for different parts of speech, and they're going to correct errors as they work through an entire story over the course of the year. So instead of just memorizing grammar rules, your child is going to be better equipped to transfer what he or she is learning in this curriculum to their own writing that they will be doing in any writing course that you use. Now, Fix It Grammar it works really well with the IEW writing curriculum, whether it's parent-led or their video-based structure and style for students. But Fix It Grammar can be used completely on its own with any other writing curriculum or language arts program that you are using. Now, Fix It Grammar has 6 different levels, and each level is its very own story. And every level is meant to take 1 school year to complete, but it's only done 4 days a week, and it takes less than 15 minutes each day. Even on the first day of the week when you're teaching the new concept, still only takes 15 minutes max. So it's very easy to implement, but yet it is still very engaging and effective. Now, the first level is called the Nose Tree, and this level assumes that the child has had no prior experience in grammar at all. So it's going to start with the very basics. It's going to cover the basic parts of speech, along with things like end marks, punctuation, phrases, clauses, and more things. But they do have a scope and sequence that allows you to see each grammar topic that's covered and which lesson it's covered in. The other thing about Fix It Grammar is that it does cover vocabulary. Vocabulary is in here. And so your child is going to be exposed to new words each day or each lesson that they're doing. And those vocabulary words are clearly marked in bold print. So your student can identify them and then easily go and look them up and find the definition. Now, I do want to say that while the Nose Tree is a beginning level grammar curriculum, I really suggest holding off starting it until after your child has a solid foundation in reading and penmanship. You really don't, if they're still learning to read and still struggling to read, I think throwing in this grammar curriculum is going to overwhelm them. So better to focus on getting them to be good readers and then adding this in. And of course, since they're going to be rewriting things with this curriculum, you're going to want to make sure that you've got a solid foundation in penmanship as well. Doesn't mean that they have to have great penmanship or beautiful penmanship, but they do need to be able to write sentences with ease. Now, since there are only 6 levels of Fix-It grammar that, take your child from no grammar knowledge in level 1 all the way to high school level grammar in level 6, you can have your child start this nose tree in the upper elementary years, like 4th or 5th grade. You can actually just start grammar, and you'll still have plenty of time to work through all the levels if you even want to get to level 6. That's pretty almost college level grammar. So you might not even want to get all the way up there. So you can certainly hold off on introducing grammar with the Fix-It Grammar program until later on in your child's education, especially if maybe they're struggling in reading and you want to really focus on that. So let's turn the camera around now and get a look inside the Nose Tree student book, as well as the teacher's manual. And we're going to look at what's covered in each lesson, how it is set up, and what a typical lesson and week looks like. Okay, let's take a look inside the student workbook as well as the teacher's manual to give you an idea of how this curriculum is set up and how it works. So let's start by looking at the teacher's manual. On this page here, you're going to see how the curriculum is set up. Your student's going to learn it, read it, mark it, fix it, and rewrite it. That is the Fix-It grammar method. So first, they're going to learn it. So on the first day of the week, they are going to learn a new concept. And then that same day, they're also going to work through the rest of this. They're going to read it. They're going to read the day's passage and look up the bolded vocabulary word in the dictionary, pick the definition that fits the context of the story, and they'll have a list of vocabulary words and their definitions that they keep on a separate piece of paper. They're also going to mark it, so they're going to mark the passage with the different grammar concepts, parts of speech that they learned. And then they are going to fix it. They're going to correct any parts of the passage that need to be fixed. And then once they have done that, they will rewrite the passage in the with all the corrections that they need to make. Now, here is the scope and sequence for the Fix-It Grammar Level 1 Nose Tree. You can see here that it's going to tell you the parts of speech that they're going to be learning, as well as what week they're going to be learning that on. So you can see that nouns will be taught on week 1, week 4, and week 18. And subject nouns will be taught or introduced on week 9. So you can see all the different parts of speech, capitalization, punctuation, the different clauses, and so on, with all the different concepts and stylistic techniques that they're going to be learning. You'll also see here the vocabulary words that they're going to learn in each lesson. As you can see that in each lesson, there are 4 different vocabulary words because there are just 4 days of lessons per week. And so your student will learn a new vocabulary word each day over the course of the 4-day week. So let's start by looking at one of the lessons, not only in the teacher's manual, but the same lesson in the student workbook as well. So we have the teacher's manual here on the left and the student's book on the right, but they are both week 1, the very first day. Like I said, this is meant to be used with students that have had absolutely no grammar introduction. So they're going to start off learning the very basics. As you can see here in the teacher's manual, your student is going to learn about nouns, capitalization, end marks, and indentation. So just some very basic grammar concepts. You'll see that same information is over here in the student book as well. The teacher's edition has some extra tips and helpful information here on this side. So let's turn both of these over to the very first lesson or assignment that they're going to be doing in week 1. So here we have the teacher's manual here and the student book here. And as you can see, they're very similar. The teacher's manual is just going to have some additional information as well as all of the answers. So when your student is on this assignment here, remember they've already learned it. And now they're going to read it. They're going to read this passage here, and then they're going to read the vocabulary word, look it up in the dictionary, and find the appropriate definition for the context of this word. Then they are going to mark it. They're going to find 2 nouns in this story and mark it. And as you can see, that is here in the teacher's manual. The answers are right there. Then they're going to fix any mistakes, and the mistakes here is 1 capital is missing and 1 end mark. And of course the student had just learned that a sentence needs to start with a capital letter and end with some kind of end mark. And here you will see that, those markings here in the teacher's manual. Then the student will rewrite this sentence. They can write it right here, or you can have them write it on a separate piece of paper. But that is just 1 day, less than 15 minutes for that very first lesson. So let me move the teacher's manual over and just show you what the rest of this week will look like, or week 1 will look like for the student. So remember that on the first day, they're going to learn it and then read it, mark it, fix it, and rewrite it. But on day 2, on day 3, and on day 4, let me flip that over, they are just going to read it, reading this sentence, reading the vocabulary word. They're going to mark things, fix them, and rewrite them. And then here you can see this is the start of week 2. Let me flip over in the teacher's manual here to show you what your student's going to be doing towards the end of the year. So let's flip back here to the last lesson. This is week 30, which I believe, let me check, is the last lesson. Here's week 30. And on day 2 and 3, you can see that now they've got a lot more parts of speech that they are going to be marking and more things that they are going to be fixing, and you can see all of that here. And of course, helpful notes and tips in here for the teacher as well. So that is a look inside of the Nose Tree curriculum from IEW, the teacher's manual, and the student book. Now, you might also be interested in these Fix-It grammar cards. They contain grammar concepts that can assist in review and easy reference for your student. And you can purchase these cards online. It's a separate purchase. And when you purchase them, you will get access to a digital download of grammar activities and games to further help review what your child is learning. So this is a great kind of extra to add into the Fix-It Grammar curriculum. I hope that this review of the Fix-It Grammar Level 1 Nose Tree curriculum was helpful for you. I would love to chat with you down in the comments. Let me know if you have used any of the Fix-It Grammar curriculum, what you thought of it, and also have you used any other curriculum from IEW? And if so, what are your favorites? Let's talk down in the comments, and I will see you again soon in another video.